We've got some attendees joining us now. There we go. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining this session on the Tetra Society of North America, where we've got our amazing host, someone that I can count as a friend and I volunteer somewhat with Tetra as well, so it's great to see a friendly face. Zara Mohammed is the Ottawa coordinator, and I'll let her take it from here and give you guys some more information about what the Tetra Society of North America does and how they might be able to help. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. Just give me a quick sec. I'm just trying to share my screen here. I hope that's presented. Okay.
Yeah, that's working. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, John. So thank you, John, for that great intro. I'm happy to be here. So everyone, today's talk is the Tetra Society of North America, the past, present, and future. Basically, we'll talk about how Tetra came about, what we're currently doing, and where we're going in the future. So I will be talking about Tetra as a whole in the beginning because most chapters operate the same and have the same vision and goal. But we will be talking about specifically the Ottawa chapter and the projects we've completed and the initiatives that we are currently doing, as I am the Ottawa chapter coordinator. So how we go about this fireside chat, so it is a chat as it's titled, so feel free to ask me any questions throughout. I think I can get your questions as they pop out. So I have a place that shows me that.
Yeah, they'll show up in the Q&A section, so you should be able to see them all.
Okay, thanks, John. Okay, I was just quickly checking that. Okay, so 1 second. Okay. So who and what is Tetra? I know that we have people who are fairly new to Tetra that told me that will join this chat. And I know some people are already aware but want more info or how they can utilize or leverage Tetra or how they can work with us. So Tetra is one of the 6 charitable societies that fall under the Disability Foundation that provide accessible and meaningful activities. So you see Tetra here is one of 6 great societies that fall under the Disability Foundation, but we are the ones that specifically do assistive technologies or specialize in assistive technology. What does Tetra do exactly? As mentioned, we're dedicated to helping people with disabilities achieve independence and fulfilling lives, one assistive device at a time. So just a quick definition, an assistive technology is really any device that's designed, made, or adapted to assist a person do a particular task. So very common ones you've seen is wheelchair, canes, walkers. Those are all assistive technologies. So quickly, for those that are new, what is a disability? It's defined as a physical or mental or psychological condition that limits a person's activities on a long-term basis in terms of their individual ability to function and participate in a societal context. So assistive technology has a major role to play in this regard to permit individuals with limitations to better conduct their life and gain access to the world around. As I just described what an assistive technology is, for example, they could be anything that helps a person do a particular task. So this is just a quick example to helping people navigate, understand the world of assistive tech and removing barriers from our environment. So the problem here, we see a difference in performance and requirement. This first image shows this icon where we can call it an individual can see right across this wall because it has the height that's needed, but this individual here is not able to see across because it doesn't have the same height. Solutions that we could go for is restore a function, increase individual's height, but that's very hard and rare to do. So a person with limited mobility, it's very hard to restore mobility. Overcome a barrier, place a block to increase a person's height that can see. But the best solution is just removing the barrier altogether. So everyone can, it can be adapted to everyone. How did it all start? Sam Sullivan is the founder of the Disability Foundation. It's really an inspiring story. At age 19, he broke his neck in an accident. In 1978, he found himself tetraplegic, unable to dress or feed himself. So over an intensive 20-year period, he built a succession of nonprofit groups offering opportunities to people with physical disabilities in Vancouver and across Canada. He went on to become mayor in Vancouver and now is a BC Liberal MLA. You can see him here in this photo. He actually caught the world's attention when he waved the Olympic flag from his wheelchair at the close of the 2006 Games in Italy. Where we are today, we have over 30 local chapters providing customized solutions to over 40 communities across Canada. We have more than 300 Tetra volunteers as a whole who design and build hundreds of custom assistive devices. How Tetra operates. So as I said, Tetra designs or fixes assistive technology to help individuals perform a particular task. It doesn't necessarily have to be a task to do your daily work. It could be recreational, something fun. I can show you examples as we go through this. So Tetra is almost 100% volunteer run. Tetra recruits volunteers who work with clients, but not necessarily clients because we don't charge for any labor or any fees associated, except if the client can provide a money for material. I see I have a question here. Okay, so I have a question. It says, how does Tetra services provides differ from March of Dimes and March of Dimes designability? So Tetra specialty is assistive technology. That is everything we do. So just the Ottawa chapter itself, we in the last 5 years have built over 100 assistive tech and help people. For March of Dimes, I believe they specialize in a lot of areas regarding employment. I don't want to talk on behalf of March of Dimes, but I know that assistive technology designability program is one aspect of their whole nonprofit. Not necessarily, I could be mistaken, it's not their whole concentration, but for Tetra, this is what we specialize in. Everything that we do, we specialize in assistive technology, and over the years we've gotten good at it, I say, and have grown and done a lot of quality assistive tech. So as of right now, this is what I can tell you the main differences are, is that for Tetra, we specialize, and this is our main goal or what we do. With March of Dimes, they have several programs. I'll leave it at there. We could talk about it more as we go through. I see that I may have another question. Okay, I think that's it for now. So we recruit volunteers to design and build assistive technologies that are custom made. But we have just a few specific rules that these assistive techs that are requested from the community are not available commercially, or they could be cost prohibitive, meaning that what's out there is very expensive and that a solution that's cheaper can be made, as well as it could exist commercially, but it doesn't suit the particular physical situation. So individuals with special needs, they could be very distinct and unique to the individual, and you need a very unique solution. So that's why Tetra is here, because in the market, it's hard to have so many features and options, which is why I think a lot of people have not delved into it. I see I have a few more questions. Okay. I have a few questions. Okay.
Yes, some of the questions are comments, and then some of the questions are actual questions. So if you want to just handle the presentation, I'm happy to sort of step in and help you with some of the comments and things as well.
No worries.
Okay.
So thank you, John. And we have a few specialized people in Tetra. So Sylvia Balako is the regional coordinator who deals with all of Ontario. And John as well is my predecessor. So he was the coordinator right before me, as well as Paul Marriage, who led the chapter for a few years before that. So I'm happy to have all these questions and people that can help us. So Sylvia has just told me that March of Dimes has an age restriction and an income restriction. So Tetra has no limits. That's why we're able to take on more, and we've specialized in this. What has been the most creative design solutions around assistive tech that you've seen in Ottawa so far? So I'm getting to that. I will show you quite a few examples. So thank you for those questions, guys. You can keep them coming in, and John, don't hesitate to help out or chip in. You have a lot of Tetra knowledge. So as we go along, clients range in age. So as just explained, March of Dimes has an age restriction. We don't. Medical conditions and needs and the breadth of gadgets span from the workplace, home modification, sport, and leisure as well. So we raise funds to deliver this program, including covering costs of volunteer travel and materials for devices per project. That's if the client is unable to provide the costings for the material, labor, and design. Everything is free. So we never want to discourage anyone if they have a challenge they want to overcome. Ottawa has a lot of private donors and sponsors, and really a whole group of dedicated volunteers wanting to help people. Just checking the questions quickly. Okay. So I put a quick screenshot in regards to having a core group of volunteers. What the individual who has a request can just go online and fill out a form that is a request for assistance. The process after that is very easy. Coordinator gets in touch and puts you in touch in some of our volunteers. So the Ottawa chapter, I'm going to quickly just check. I saw I had one more question. I'll get back to that shortly. So Ottawa chapter. Volunteer resources, who designs and develops the requested technology. So for Ottawa specifically, we have local volunteers, so a wide range of volunteers. This is our main source, and I'll get into what the backgrounds of these volunteers are. It's pretty open. At this point, we have 3 university student clubs: Carleton University, University of Ottawa, and Algonquin College. So we've grown our student capacity, and this is interest from the students themselves as they become aware of Tetra. And other here, we've been getting reached out by a lot of university design courses, so departments in their engineering departments, such as University of Ottawa, Algonquin College, and even high school tech shops who want to take on Tetra projects for their design courses for their students to work on and complete and work with the clients and provide them the completed project. I think this is a great way going forward, my perspective, for the future, not future of Tetra in general, but having young students have awareness of the challenges that individuals with special needs are having to or want to overcome on a daily basis, because there are no solutions commercially available, or they have not been included in devices or been considered. So I think it's a great way having so many students being involved and from a young age being aware of the challenges that are out there. we concentrate so much on being technologically advanced, wanting to make faster cars or faster airplanes, but there's still so much around us that needs to get solved or have solutions for. And I feel that especially dives into the accessibility realm. So volunteers, local volunteers, we have a core group of over 30 volunteers, and we range in skill set. It ranges from professional engineers, professional technicians. We have a lot of retired skilled workers who want to give in their time, occupational therapists, social workers, scientists, educators, students, plus many more. So we're open to anyone who wants to help. So yeah, as well as having over 30 volunteers in Ottawa, we do work with our regional coordinator. So if it's something that's outside of our broad skill set, we reach out to other chapters in Ontario, and Sylvia, our regional coordinator, who I just mentioned, helps us with that and puts us in touch with other individuals who can take certain projects on. So we're not limited locally. I'm just going to quickly check questions here. Okay. I know Karen from March of Dimes, sorry, I'm reading this very quickly, but I'm glad that to all panelists, discussions happening. So Karen can speak best for March of Dimes, and as she says that March of Dimes helps people of all ages and there are no financial restrictions. So thanks, Karen, for clearing that up. In regards to clients, so who makes requests for specific assistive technology to overcome a barrier? So we get requests from individuals themselves, people who have special needs and want to overcome a specific challenge. We get it through a family member or friend. And a lot of times we have been getting it from their occupational therapists or medical practitioners. Because Tetra in Ottawa has done a lot of projects and they've been of quality status, we get a lot of requests from the Ottawa Children's Treatment Center, the Ottawa Hospital Rehab Center, Communicare, CHIO, and more. So regarding partners and collaborators, so we work with a lot of different partners as projects come in to ensure that we have the resources and being able to complete the request or assistive tech, maintaining our quality par. So just for a few examples, our partners include Carleton U, the MS Society of Canada, Ottawa Disability Coalition. They come to us at times as well when they have specific requests from their side, spinal cord injury, Algonquin College, Independent Living Canada, just to give you a few examples. Ottawa Chapter Fabrication resources and funding. So again, Tetra does not charge for any labor. If the client is unable to pay for material costs, it depends on the funding from Disability Foundation, local funding, and private donors. So we never want to discourage anyone from making a request. Fabrication, so we rely on local manufacturing facilities, woodworking shops, tools and machines from the community, and local volunteers. So completed projects, we've had a few questions about these. So I put a few examples for everyone. These are not all the projects. So as I said, in Ottawa, we've completed over 100 in the past 5 years or so. These are just to give you guys an example of what could be requested. Again, everything is open. This here shows a Trail A bike connecting 2 adult bikes. The child had neurological needs, so it was hard for them to ride a bicycle on their own. So design a solution to provide independence and support simultaneously. So this device here that was created, it provides balance and secure to act as a guide. So a fork and pivot mechanism that allows turning so the child can steer, but as well as still provides support in regards to safety. I see I'm just checking the questions quickly. Someone said, can someone write in with a problem even if they have no idea what the solution might be? Yes, of course. You can write in with whatever problem you have. So we do get a lot of those as well. Sometimes we see that people don't have an idea on how to go about things, but with our experience, we could lead them to and brainstorm with our core group of volunteers. So never hesitate to reach out to us. A lot of our requests come in where people don't know what the solution is or if there is. So that's completely fine. Space-saving collapsible parallel bars. So this example, this was built by a few of our volunteers. This individual here was a veteran who wanted to continue his rehabilitation exercise at home. So our volunteers designed and developed and built this really great collapsible parallel bars similar to what he uses in the hospital. As you see on the side here, it's very modular. It could twist and be moved out of the way, sort of on the wall, and he's able to do his exercises at home. I go to the next example. So here we have a bed turning rack and bed controls. The client was very happy with this. The bed that they had was very limited and unable to move himself. So he had limited mobility, but some hand mobility. And the device here had a lot of controls and electronics as well that is able to tilt on both sides with his controls and able to turn over as needed. So we get also quite a bit of requests regarding wheelchair features. It's hard for individuals who have backpacks or purses and want to have them as they go, as opposed to putting it in their lab. So we've gotten quite a few requests on making a bag transfer back. So how this works is that it's not only just on the back, you're able to easily transfer it through a control that it can come right to your side and you can pick up your bag. So opposed to you leaning backwards and trying to pick up your bag. Same here with this purse holder. Here we have an adjustable desk. It was a very cool desk. The challenge was the child had very limited hand mobility, and any task that she required to do required different angles and heights. So the desk that was built by some of our volunteers had multiple features. As you see here, there is an actuator that helps with the height adjustment, as well as the height adjustment, and had angle adjustments. So the child was very happy with this, and we do get quite a bit of desk requests. And this project here, which is one of my favorites, once I learned about it, it's a safe bed with access and padding. So as you can see, the bed here, it opens up for easy access as opposed to leaning in from the top. So the child had epilepsy and was susceptible to harm in their crib. For example, sorry guys. For example, hitting the wall, and it could lead to harm, and the parents were scared for him. So the solution was vinyl padding, so the child would not get hurt, as well as unique heavy screening. So if you notice here, with the padding and the solution implemented, the child could still see out, as well as the parents could see in, so there's no seclusion for the child. I'm just going to quickly check the questions. Someone has asked me if there's a Durham region chapter. At the top of my head, I can't think of, but Sylvia, who is the regional coordinator, if you hear me, Sylvia, feel free to answer to the whole group.
Yeah, I also took the liberty of typing some of the answers for you as well, just to make it easier so that you wouldn't get inundated with questions.
Oh, thank you so much, John.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I think I skipped one. So this one, modifications for music, you see on my right here, the child required some sort of guitar stand because it was very hard to play his guitar while on the wheelchair. So he's very happy with this solution, and it's modular and can be removed quite easily from the wheelchair. This on the on my left here, so is a child with, I believe, autism, and had a communication barrier. So the device that was designed, if you see, had different emotions: happy, sad, sick. The child would only need to press a button, and it would convey the emotion for them to make it easier to communicate and for their parents to understand what they're trying to get across. So this project here, eye motion detector, the challenge was the individual had no mobility at all, and she required some sort of method to communicate, and she could only use her eyes. So the solution was a gadget was developed to pick up eye motion to act either as a mouse cursor or is integrated with other control devices. So the movement of her eye and how it's programmed or coordinated would catch that, and in turn provide communication, or as a way to be able to communicate and translate what her eye motions are. So these are a few examples of providing some sort of exercise and fun devices to use. On this one here, it's a device for exercise mechanism. The individual had limited mobility to stand on their own, so he could sit on there and do some slight jumps and some exercise. This one here was built one of our volunteers. Person had limited lower mobility, so he'd use his hands as he's sitting in the wheelchair or on the side to sit on the wooden horizontal slab here. He would use his hands to perform the exercises required. This device on my right was able to help the child stand upright and move as he's across the skating ring. Just gonna quickly check the questions. So as Sylvia has mentioned, there is no Durham region chapter yet, but Tetra Design builds and installs a custom assistive device anywhere in Ontario. So don't hesitate to send us a request regardless where you live in Canada.
Just to briefly interrupt for a second, Zara, you're reaching the end of your session, so maybe if you want to wrap up in 15, 30 seconds,
shoot.
something of that sort. I don't want to interrupt you completely, so
Right.
I'm hoping that you can also share your if you want to share your deck with me. Actually, you already have. Anyone who's on the mailing list as well will be able to get access to the deck. So I'll share the mailing list in the chat as well for anyone that might not have already signed up.
That's great. So I think I have about 2 minutes left. I'm so sorry, guys. I did not keep track of time. So there's a few extra devices here, but John can send that out to everyone. So Tetra expansion initiatives in the future. Tetra is expanding because we get hundreds of requests every year, and it's more, the need for assistive tech is more prevalent than ever. So we want to make assistive tech available to the whole community. This is through our social venture Tetra Gear. So this is a national initiative where assistive tech will be made available on the site for sale, of course, affordable, but Tetra is still it's a nonprofit that doesn't charge individuals. netCle is a new device that's in its pilot study right now. So if anyone wanted a free device to try, feel free just to go on the link. An occupational therapist and technician will help you set up. So this is especially if you have a communication barrier. Apologies, everyone. I'm kind of going fast on these last 2 slides. I just want to make everyone known. In regards to COVID-19 pandemic, we have been supporting our local community and any individual who has interacted with Tetra or has a special needs or disability. We have been providing monetary gift cards for food and groceries to help individuals stay at home and have groceries delivered. These are our COVID-19 supporters. I'm going to end this off because it's 5:30, but please don't hesitate to contact us. My information is there, or feel free to go on the website.
Yeah, and I'm happy to share. I'm happy to share that. Teresa, I'll be happy to email you the link as well. If you're signed up, if you click on the link above the MailChimp there, that'll let you sign up, and we'll email you the link out. We'll actually email it to everybody on the mailing list, so no worries about anything. Yeah, no problem, Teresa. I'll help you out.
Okay, that's great. Great. Thank you so much, John, and thanks everyone for joining us today.
Okay, thanks again, everyone. We'll be with Neil Squire in about 10 or 15 seconds. Thanks again. Thanks so much.
Thank you, John.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.